My name is Nikki Kinney, and the book that I chose are the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark by Alvin Schwartz. There are 3 books in this series. Each book contains short stories that are intended for a mature audience. They may be too intimidating for a younger reader. I believe adults want to ban these books because they are intended for a mature audience. These stories are meant to be fictional, but yet some students may not understand these stories are not real. One of the stories in the first book talks about a woman was leaving a sporting event. She was driving home and she noticed the man was leaving the same sporting event, and he was following her. And at first she didn't think anything was wrong with it. Well, then he began to flash his lights, and he kept doing it and kept doing it, and he was following her, and this was starting to scare her. So she turned down like a back road to get to her house that she thought, okay, well, nobody comes down this road, so he'll sure leave me alone. Well, the man followed, and he did it again, flashed his lights, flashed her lights. So the woman got very, very scared at this point, and she starts speeding home. She gets home, she's, call the police, and the man, tries to jump out the car, and the police are arresting him, and he's trying to explain the reason he was flashing his lights was because there was another man in the backseat of the woman's car that was trying to do harm to her. And every time he flashed his lights, the man in the backseat would get scared and duck down. So the moral of the story is, he was trying to do a good deed. For me, I read this as a child, and to this day, somebody flashes their lights behind me, I'm sure they're intending for, me to move over so they can pass me, but I automatically think of this story, and I think of, oh my gosh, is there somebody in my back seat? So I guess just the point of banning the book is that you really just want to make sure that whoever's going to read the book understands these stories are not real. They're fictional. They're meant to, to entertain, and not scare you and, have a story stick with you for 30 some years, 20 some years. I'm not that old. Another reason I had thought that the books might be challenged is because of some of the illustrations. The older books have these like very vivid illustrations. Like this one's about a woman coming up from the grave. And it gives you like that visual, representation of what's going on in the story. And this is like another one about a haunted house. So it really makes the story. The newer versions don't have these anymore, but I like the older versions better. Censorship is a matter of someone's opinion. If a librarian or teacher chooses to not have the book in their collection due to its content, then that book is being censored. Excuse me. Unfortunately for public schools, the administrators are required to do what's in the best interest of the students. I feel public schools have a sense of fear of parents. So if enough parents complain about a certain topic, like they don't like this book and they don't want it in the school, and they get rallied together, then the administration has no choice but to comply with what the parents' wishes are. For my own personal classroom, it's kind of a tough situation. I would like to say I would have these books available because I hate to censor these children from not being able to be exposed to these stories, but I definitely would think that I would have to make the decision based on per student. If I know one student is more mature enough and can understand and handle these stories and is not going to be, stuck with them for 20 some years, then maybe I would offer that book. Thank you.